Hi everyone, it's Philip here, just checking out the spreadsheet I wanted to share with you guys. It's been a work in progress for a couple months now. So this is the basic. I'll have the link posted on the videos. So we got ranged weapons, we'll go through all the round damage, ammo count, the damage as it upgrades, the weight, and as it gets upgraded. I've added the cost, and then in addition I made a ratio of damage over weight. So the reason I did this is I wanted to find the most efficient use of weight kilograms on your builds. You know, it's not always perfect. Sometimes the damage includes DOT, so it doesn't really translate to killing a big Z necessarily, but it's useful to have. You can find some really cool weapons that you thought weren't very good, like the HRG test launcher, which I never really used for a long time, but when you go over how much damage it does for the weight it has, it's quite good. So moving on, I did the same thing with melee. There it wasn't quite the same importance, but similar important factors. Bash damage, parry duration, parry strength, damage reduction, and so forth. So there's a lot of stuff here. I'm sure there's more things to add, like even back at the range sheet, I should have stumble values here, I should have accuracy values. Some of those things are really important for killing big Zeds. I'm finding now accuracy is even more important than total amount of damage sometimes. So moving on, we've got builds for each perk, each class. So I've kind of put in the weapons I like to use or what I see people use. Sometimes not so much, but I've kind of calculated. You can see here like the most popular build, most meta build. It's not even the highest damage. So a lot of times that concentration of firepower, being able to get the damage quickly, is more important than the total damage you can do. Especially when you can buy multiple weapons and just drop it on the ground. So, but at least this gives you a start. So right now I'm running HRG Kaboom with the RPG for the demo. That's a lot of fun. Commando. Now this is I've learned from Colonel Moro a lot. This is pretty much the build. I've messed around with the 501s. That's fun, but if you really want to get things done, Commando is all about that 401 with the FAL. And to get there, you might need to load up on the varmint and the Tommy gun for a round or two, but after that, get a 401, then the FAL. I've tried the Scar H for a long time, since the beginning. M16s. They all have their niches, they all have their strengths, but in the end, you cannot beat this combo. Then Sharpshooter. This was the most fun class for me to learn, because I was using the Winchester and the SPX for a long time, through all the difficulty levels, even Hell on Earth. And when you get it down, it's actually quite good, but you just can't beat the reload speed of the M14 and the accuracy. So in the end, you really want M14 FNFL, but you can throw in the SPX there sometimes. It's quite efficient. Really low weight, cost, and you can upgrade, so even if you die, you can just keep rebuying it, so that's a good thing. The Firebug. I should learn how to use a microwave gun, but in general, I just like the Helios rifle too much. And Flamethrower, downright OP in multiple maps like the Descent. The MAC-10, I'm still getting used to it. It seems good, but I have a little issue with its accuracy. But I'll give it more tries. Now, SWAT. I think pretty much everyone plays this build. Chris with a nail gun. And then upgrade it. Gets a little expensive if you upgrade it, but if you don't upgrade it, it's still pretty good. This one I've been using whenever I need a low on cash or something like that. Join halfway the game. You know, you don't quite get the big Z killer power because your nail guns only upgrade once, or not even once if you're coming late. But with all these guns, you can just switch, fire off a clip, fire off a magazine. If you don't have time, switch to the next gun, fire that off, and then switch to the third gun. You'll see this commonly in my builds. Is I prefer having 3 guns rather than 2, even though I know 2 is the optimal speed and everything. But I like having 3 because two of the guns can be focused on big Zs. You know, you finish off your nail gun magazine, switch to the Chris, and you can pretty much finish off every big Z. Where, as opposed to having a nail gun that's fully upgraded, but you gotta reload in between. Sometimes that can catch you off guard. Of course, if you're a pro like those other guys, you don't really have to worry about that, but I like to have the 3 weapon selection sometimes. Now, Gunslinger, I'm still not very good at it, to be honest, but I've seen these builds too often to go against it. I've tried the 1911. I even used to use the 1858 revolvers. I've had fun with the Magnums. In the end, this build, AF 2011s, Desert Eagles. Sometimes I switch it with the Glock instead. They're all good. I think it's more about how good your headshots are. This is all about mobility and headshots. Oh, there's one thing I should note. Why damage isn't everything. I mean, these builds all do between 30 and 47,000. But if you actually built a bunch of single pistols, upgraded at the cheapest ways, because all these upgrades usually don't add weight, you could just get a crap ton of damage. Theoretically. But with all the reload time, you're just never going to get there, or you're going to get overrun long before it happens. So, damage isn't everything, but it's just something to think about. I've practiced with 4 or 5 guns, and once you get used to the mental acrobatics you need, it's doable. But in reality, stick with 2 or 3 guns for your builds. Any more than that, it gets probably too unwieldy. Spend your time reloading. Support. Pretty much every gun here in support is useful. I mean, I've played all of them. Clearly you can see I love the M4, I love the Frostfang. I still use a Kaboom Stick even though they don't get a bonus from support. Because if you see all the damages from the weapons, this is a key actually, a reoccurring key with a Kaboom Stick, HRG Kaboom Stick. You'll see all the guns. They typically have, this is pretty low, but 12,000 to 22,000 upgraded. The Kaboom Stick, even if you don't upgrade it, is 25,000. So arguably, some of these things might get more damage because you've got the support bonus, but overall, this Kaboom Stick is just so much damage on its own. It doesn't even need the perk bonuses. And it's such a clear, wave clearer, trash killer. Even good against flesh pounds. Worth it on pretty much every build I like. Got a little healer on this build. Overall, I like an M4 for big Zeds killers. Kaboom can help with the flesh pounds, and then Frostfang could help with anything, really. Freeze anything. Now, Survivalist. I spent a lot of time in recent weeks figuring out the survivalist builds, because there's so many ways to go about it. This list used to be maybe 30, 50. I've cut it down because I realized playing it as a sharpshooter or demolitionist is probably the best way to play survivalist. So I even used to have a lot of kaboom stick builds with it, and it is good, but it's just in the end, the kaboom stick, even fully upgraded, doesn't quite kill the big Zeds as good as you'd wish. Even point blank range, you know, to the head, Scrakes will still take 6 shots, you know, meaning 3 reloads. You know, Flush Pound will take 2 shots, so 4 rounds, 2 reloads. It's still doable, but I prefer now to stick to, you know, assault rifle, Helios rifle, those builds. RPG actually is not that good on the survivalist, but it's decent. In the end, instead of trying to load up, I used to have a lot of builds with 3 weapons on the survivalist because he's got 20 weight, of course. In the end, it was just too much switching weapons for almost ineffective weapons. So I just stuck with 2, upgraded them fully, or if I don't upgrade them, I'll have a Hemo Clobber so you can survive any, you know, team deaths. You just run around, heal yourself while the Zeds follow you or the boss follows you. I've added a kaboom stick option here. Some of the builds, because you got weapons that have base 7 weight, so you'll have just enough room for a kaboom stick if you wish. That actually is quite useful too. But with these things upgraded, it's usually optimal. But if you don't have the money, don't upgrade these. Get a kaboom stick. Almost all your problems will be solved. So, yeah, I haven't done field medics and berserkers just because, especially the berserker, I don't know if you really want to optimize damage so much, as there's so many things to do with berserker rather than just dealing outright damage. The medic, you're constantly choosing, should I help with damage, get the incision or 401 or the 501, or just focus on healing, heal throwers and hemoglobins. So I've kind of left that alone for now. I'm sure I'll figure something out in the future. Achievements, these are just my Steam achievements I'm working on. Not yet experienced with Berserker, so I still got these. So why do I gotta get to 25 actually? And I'll get all this. I gotta do a lot of objectives. And then... oh, endless, just a dissector, really. And some verses. I'm looking forward to play some of these verses and objectives actually. It'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, that's an overview. You can see this spreadsheet now, it's public. Yeah, I hope you enjoy. You got lots of data here. I'm sure there's much more data. I've been using the KF2 Killing Floor 2 wiki, so I'm hoping it's pretty accurate. It's pretty close. There's a couple of mistakes. I noticed it and I updated it. Because I saw in the game, like a Winchester, I believe was said as 5 kilos, whereas in reality it's 4 when you start with it. So just a few of those things. Let me know, make suggestions, make any comments. If I got something wrong here, just let me know and I will correct it. Hope you guys had fun. I am gonna head out for now. Cheers.